have to understand, we had nothing. We had no money.
The blocks were made out of 2x4s.
I never heard of Cal State Bakersfield.
Sagebrush, sand dunes.
None of that. It was all dirt.
And very little else.
For every problem, there's a solution somewhere.
I just remember getting the hose every day from the swimming pool.
He overcame all those obstacles.
The hurdles he made out of PVC piping.
Things don't just happen. People make things happen.
He started a program with nothing.
I think the community saw that he had a vision.
I mean, he was just that committed.
He must have been a genius.
He was hard. He was tough. High energy, his way. He cared for those kids.
I was a little bit in awe, I must admit.
We had so many incredible athletes.
Really brilliant coaches.
We were succeeding at what we were doing.
They're developing and building and growing.
But you saw the fight in this kid.
Probably one of the hardest workers in any sport.
His last 2 years, undefeated.
Hey, what do you think? Should we swim today? What do you think? Okay, let's go.
And that's who I am, and water was my home.
Everything fell into place. The community, what he received in this community, the campus, what he received in this school, the athletes, the coaches, is what set him up for success.
We were playing at a high level, a group we were so proud of. They worked so hard.
We just meshed together.
Those guys wanted to make this place something special.
I think it was an exciting time.
Electric, and it was fun.
Exciting, maybe a little overwhelming.
The foundations for the future were incredible.
And good evening. Runners and CSUB family, welcome to the inaugural CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame. My name is Greg Kerr. I have the pleasure of being your MC tonight. I had my first runner's gold tonight. This might go a little sideways. We are here to celebrate our 4 outstanding athletes and 1 distinguished team. We honor Rudy Carvajal, Loni, Burton, Vander, Kooi, Charles Craig, Stephen Neal, and the 1992-93 men's basketball team. As sports director of Eyewitness News, I remember covering all these athletes, teams, coaches, administrators over the years, and what an absolute fantastic group this is. And it says in parentheses, Greg can ad-lib here and talk about each of them, so I will. Let me start with Rudy Carvajal. One of the foundations of this university. He was here, not to date Rudy, but he was here when it was just tumbleweeds in 1972. And these buildings and the people that have walked through this building are a large part of what he put into this place for 38 years. The same can be said for Charles Craig, who was on board at the same time, but he put something on the map that wasn't here, and that was a track and field program. There you go. Well, there's all the people I cannot beat to a race to my car. So Charlie not only mentored and coached fantastic athletes, but his prowess went beyond this to the highest level of track and field, to the Olympics. And yet he worked within these walls as well. Then there's Stephen Neal. Stephen Neal was an absolute machine on the mat, and then he made a second career out of winning Super Bowls. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? I was at the Penn State campus in 1999 when he beat Brock Lesnar. And I still have this vivid memory because I was there for 3 days, just shooting highlights. After talking KBAK into spending money for the first time in a long time. And I said, we got to go to this thing. This guy's going to win. And I kid you not, I still have this memory of after watching Stephen win in the semifinals, and I knew he was going to wrestle whoever won the next match, and that would be Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar walked by me to the podium for his interview about facing Stephen, and he walked by me. I could only think, oh my God. This man's neck was bigger than your thigh. And if you've ever played a video game and you got to the level where you had to beat the big boss, he was the big boss. I was going like, this is just ridiculous, this guy's size. Only to find out the next day, not that I lacked any confidence in Stephen Neal because he was so athletic for a heavyweight. but he absolutely tore him apart. The final score will not show that because Brock Lesnar ran from Stephen Neal the entire match. He took one shot, it cost him 2 points, and he stayed away the rest of the time. And Stephen was just so superior to Brock Lesnar. And then, of course, he had that NFL career. What a fantastic guy as well. But Stephen Neal was unbelievable. So I'm a pretty transparent guy, and when it comes to local TV, we don't cover swimming as much on local TV because a 1,500 meter is about 4 times the length of my sportscast. And so we can't really show it that much. But the good news is Loni Burton swam shorter events, and she swam them crazy fast, the 50 and the 100, and they would fit into a sportscast. And she was just incredible. Her numbers, her championships, and many of them still stand today. She was absolutely phenomenal in the water. I would imagine she is outside the water as well, but in the water, she was just absolutely phenomenal and a dream for a sportscaster who wanted to get some quick highlights. So, Loni, this is well overdue. Thank you. And then there's the 1992-93 basketball team that went 33-0. They were absolutely dominant. Unbelievable team. I talked to a couple guys in the foyer just talking about two of my favorite things about that team was watching Reggie Phillips dunk on the road when people did not know this 5'10" guy could climb and dunk over 6'8" guys. And their jaws would drop, and it just made me crack up because we saw it all the time here in the Icardo Center, but they didn't see it there. And then secondly, to watch Tyrone Davis play basketball and just make people look like they were pylons as he went through them, around them, over them, underneath them, whatever, because he was an absolute wizard with the basketball. And in my humble opinion, and my apologies to people who preceded my arrival here, the best player I've ever seen wear a CSUB basketball uniform was Tyrone Davis. He was just absolutely phenomenal. And I know a couple of them are probably wondering, hey, is that old dude up there on the microphone, is that the same guy that shot our videos in 1992? Yeah, and I'm still doing it. I'm going to Cal on November 3rd. I'm going to be shooting video of those guys as well. So what a class. Amazing. Whenever you are part of anything inaugural, you're pretty special. You are the building blocks. You are unbelievably the elite among the elite, and each of you should be proud and just know how much you meant to this university as well. You know, since 1972, CSUB Athletics has celebrated 30 national championships, a multitude of conference championships, and just this past March, the runners celebrated their 1,000th NCAA All-American honor. This award ceremony is not only needed to celebrate the historic success of athletics at CSUB, but it has also been, I think we can all agree, a long time coming. Tonight, we are going to hear from several people, all sharing the same sentiment. The CSUB Athletics has a lot to be proud of. Shortly, we will be hearing from Acting Director of Athletics, Dr. Sarah Toohey, and University President, Dr. Vernon B. Harper, Jr. And we will get to watch some videos as well that paint a brief picture of the huge list of accomplishments of each inductee. So at this time, I'd like to bring up Dr. Sarah Toohey, who serves as CSUB's Acting Director of Athletics. Dr. Toohey came to CSUB 2.5 years ago, serving as an associate AD for development. In September, she shifted to leading the Roadrunner Athletics Department. Dr. Toohey was instrumental in creating this inaugural event to celebrate the history and success of CSUB Athletics. She has spent time in the athletics departments of 5 other Division I universities, and she looks to continue building upon CSUB's historic success. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sarah Toohey.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate 4 amazing individuals and 1 amazing team. Before I get started, I would be remiss if I didn't start with some thank yous for the folks that helped make this wonderful event happen. I'd like to thank our events team, our athletics team, university advancement team, the members of our selection committee, and then Vance and Greg, Vance doing a lot of the interviews, Greg being our MC and announcing our inductees. Thank you for making this event happen. It is long overdue, and I'm very proud that we can stand up here and celebrate tonight. CSUB Athletics' mission is to pursue championships and graduate leaders. And tonight, you've already heard some, and you'll continue to hear all about our championships, the incredible accolades, the accomplishments, the records, the awards, the banners that all 5 inductees have earned. But what I like to focus on is the second part of that mission, and that's graduating leaders. I had the distinct pleasure of being a part of the interview process for 4 individual inductees and got to learn about them and what makes them special and why their names are synonymous with CSUB athletics success. And while I didn't get to meet every single member of the 92-93 team, Kenny Davis did add me to the group chat about 2 months ago, so I feel like I know way too much about those guys after all this. Not only do we have 5 incredible inductees tonight, but we have more than 5 incredible people who are being inducted. These inductees are synonymous with what it means to be a part of CSUB athletics. Rudy did what nobody thought you could do here. He built a place that was nothing and turned it into something no one could dream of. When people talk about Rudy, they say that he was level-headed, that he was resourceful. And I've come to realize that he is the best visionary we could have ever had at the helm of this department. Rudy Carvajal is CSUB athletics. Loni, Burton, Vander, Kooi is hands down the most decorated and successful female student athlete that we have ever had at this university. And when you talk with her, the things that she mentions, the things that she remembers is not the podiums, it's being with the team, it's the fun memories. Loni is humble, she is vivacious, and she is the perfect depiction of passion for her sport and for her team. Loni, Burton, Vander, Kooi is CSUB athletics. Charlie Craig is what I hope all of our current head coaches aspire to be. He was a coach, but to his student athletes, he was more than that. He was a father figure, he was a mentor, he was somebody that they could lean on. Charlie led with compassion, he led with accountability, and I think my favorite part of Charlie Craig is how loyal he has been to this university, this athletic department in the city of Bakersfield. Charlie Craig is CSUB athletics. Steve and Neal, probably one of our most iconic student athletes who ever were to compete here at CSUB. He is the definition of somebody who loves the journey and the process more than the finish line. He is the ultimate competitor. He is an absolute workhorse. And as I've come to get to know him, I've realized that he might be the most selfless man that there is. Steve and Neal is CSUB athletics. And last but not least, the 92-93 men's basketball team will forever go down in our record books as well as the nation's record books for what they were able to accomplish. But what I'm the most proud of is not what they were able to do on the court, but what they were able to do for this community. And to see this place erupting for every single game, that group of guys were believers in the program and themselves. There was an immense amount of alignment. And when we talk about what it means to be here and the family, that CSUB is, that's what the team embodied throughout that entire season. The 92-93 men's basketball team is CSUB athletics. All 5 of these inductees have earned their right to be in the inaugural class with what they've accomplished within competition or administration or as a coach. But what I am most proud of is what they stand for and who they were as people and as leaders within their sport, within this community, far beyond their time here as a Roadrunner. Rudy, Loni, Charlie, Steven, 33-0 team, from the bottom of my heart, congratulations.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tui. And the next guest I would like to welcome to the stage is the University President, Dr. Vernon B. Harper, Jr. After 8 months as interim president, Dr. Harper officially took office as president of Cal State University Bakersfield in September of 2024, and he has been a staunch supporter of CSUB athletics all the while. From tossing out T-shirts and pumping up the crowd at the annual CSUB student welcome back to sitting front row with his family and as many different sporting events as he can make, Dr. Harper has shown time and time again that his endless dedication to providing an outstanding student experience to all runners, including certainly the CSUB student athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome not just CSUB's, but Kern County's University President, Dr. Vernon B. Harper, Jr.
How are the runners out there tonight? I don't know. That doesn't sound like you care. Come on, how are the runners out there tonight? The runners feel good? The runners have spirit? That's right. Let's give a round of applause for everyone. Make a habit of definitely doing this in Kern County, who had a hand in those wonderful meals that you have at your table, all of the servers, all of the people in the fields, all of the farmers, all of the oilmen, all of the energy and water people in this wonderful community. Good evening and a rousing runner welcome to the first ever CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. Give that one more round of applause. On December 1st, we will celebrate the 54th anniversary of the first men's basketball game ever played at CSU Bakersfield. It was a nail-biter against the United States International University. And anyone can guess the outcome of that game? Does anyone know the score of that game? Well, I'm going to tell you. Yes, we won that first game 62-60, launching more than a half a century of excellence that continues to this very day. In fact, when I was approached with the idea to establish a CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame, my reaction was, don't we already have one? We're talking about an NCAA athletic program that has dozens of national championships, more than 200 individual national champions, and 1,000 All-Americans. I would definitely say, go ahead, give that a round of applause. I would definitely say that the CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame is an idea whose time has come. Go ahead. Don't get tired of it. Tonight, you will have plenty of opportunities to show your love to our honorees. But before we get to the formal recognitions, I have to add my voice to the others who have given choruses of praise to these extraordinary runners. To Loni Burton, the most decorated female student athlete in CSUB history. Loni, you're a 20-time All-American and winner of 12 individual national titles. But it is your runner's resilience that serves as an inspiration to everyone who has ever followed you into the pool. When you came to CSUB, you had lost your joy for competition. But under the guidance of Coach Pat, your love for swimming returned. Thank you for providing the greatest of victories, which is those of the human spirit. Give her one more round of applause. To Steve and Neal, who you all know could not be with us tonight, but I'm still going to brag about him anyway. Steven had not one, but 2 perfect seasons at CSUB, plus a World Wrestling Championship and the Dan Hodge Trophy, which is the Heisman of wrestling. And wrestling isn't even the sport he's most known for. That would be football. As a New England Patriots Super Bowl dynasty era football player, but Steven's heart has always remained with our wrestling program here at CSUB. Steven is already a member of the CSUB Alumni Hall of Fame, and tonight he is among our inaugural class of inductees for Roadrunner Athletics, just as he should be. Let's give Steven a round of applause so he can hear us. Who was here in Kern County in the 1990s? Come on, show of hands. Who was here in the 90s? The wonderful 90s. That's right. I can't say that I am among that privileged group, but when I hear fans reliving those national championships of CSUB's men's basketball team, I feel like I was there. That's how vivid the memories of that extraordinary dynasty remain in people's minds. To the players and coaches of that magical 1992-93 national championship team, I want to thank you for expanding runner pride beyond this campus to every corner of Kern County and to the nation. Your championship banners are hanging in the rafters of Icardo tonight, inspiring our current student athletes on a daily basis. Give them all one more round of applause. There is a famous picture of Cal State Bakersfield, picture of Charlie Craig and Rudy Carvajal, and a couple of other administrators, including the president at the time, but no one cares about the presidents. All 4 men are all dressed in their 70s finest, that brown and that orange, standing in a dirt field, staring at blueprints. But that's largely what this campus was back in those days, dirt fields and blueprints that held faint contours of the dreams that our earliest faculty and staff members had for this wonderful community. Well, Charlie and Rudy, you see the results of your vision today. To Charlie, when you arrived at Bakersfield in 1971, the paint was hardly dry on the walls of this campus. You recognized right away that developing your own track and field program would be a marathon, not a sprint. Friends, you see the phenomenal stats of Coach Craig's career. You will see them in a moment, but I want to acknowledge Coach Craig's impact beyond track and field. One former student athlete remembers Coach Craig could change lives in an instant. And over 3 decades of coaching, I'm going to call for applause just for that. Just for that. The lives that you have changed, countless, innumerable, for so many of our student athletes and students overall, we thank you. And to Rudy, who I had the great opportunity of meeting for the first time tonight, they have it written here that you're the OG. Let there be no doubt that CSUB athletics is in the house that Rudy built. In 1972, when Rudy arrived, his staff was in disbelief. All they saw was dirt, sagebrush, and roadrunners. And I mean actual roadrunners. But Rudy saw something different. He saw the future. Much will be said about the astonishing list of championships, All-Americans, and other honorees achieved during Rudy's tenure. But as extraordinary as those accomplishments are, there is a single title that belongs to Rudy, and Rudy alone. Rudy, you are the soul of CSUB athletics. For 38 years, give that applause, 38 years, he led this program with vision and integrity. He was more than any other person, he was responsible for creating excitement and affection in this community for Roadrunner athletics. As we celebrate the glorious triumphs of the past and stand on the shoulder of giants, I want to say a few words about the future of CSUB athletics. In the course of every program, there are moments of change and reflection. We find ourselves at such a moment. But as we come together tonight to remember our historic successes, I want to leave you with this bold vision. I believe in the athletic program, that the athletic program's best days are not behind us. They are just ahead. There you go. And I invite each and every one of you to come along for this great ride. Thank you so much, and go Runners.
Well, thank you, Dr. Harper, and thank you for the continued leadership in not only CSUB athletics, but for the entire university. And before we get to the inductees, there are a few people we would like to thank for making tonight even happen. As you can imagine, selecting these inductees from over 5 decades worth of champions and titans of industry was not an easy task. The selection committee was given a tough task when they were asked to narrow down the CSUB grades to just 5, and they did a remarkable job. Can the CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame Selection Committee please stand to be recognized? Additionally, we would like to extend a big thank you to Vance Palm. Many of you know Vance as a former CSUB men's basketball player when the shorts were incredibly short. A voice of the Roadrunners as an ESPN Plus broadcaster and a loyal CSUB athletics supporter. All of those things are true, but we would like to acknowledge the work that Vance has done behind the scenes to help this event special, make it special. Not only was he one of the many community members who whispered to Dr. Harper that this event was long overdue, but he was instrumental in conducting the interviews and creating content to help promote this event. So let's give a round of applause for Vance Palm. And he still has those shorts. All right, tonight, I am fortunate to be a representative of both the CSUB Athletics Department as well as Eyewitness News, the exclusive media partner of the CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame. And when I think about this university, and I've been here for 39 years on this campus. I just haven't graduated yet. But I have seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen buildings go up. I've seen new facilities. I've seen new sports. Baseball was not here long, long ago. But one thing that has not changed is the identity, and we have to understand who we are. And we've said it many times before, but we're the only Division I school within 100 miles. We live in a footprint that is advantageous to us for a number of different reasons, in my estimation. One of them is that we all shop the same mall. Well, if people still shop at malls, but we all are in a community where we know each other. We know each other in this room. We know each other because of the size of this community and what this school does. We are a whale in Bakersfield, whereas many of the schools in the Big West Conference down in Los Angeles are overshadowed by bigger universities. We have an advantage there, not to mention an intimacy when it comes to the relationships. I'm very much a relationship guy, and I believe in relationships. And when you see that the students actually converse and know the athletics director and the athletics director know their names, you don't see that in a lot of universities. and you do here. And we have to embrace that and also embrace the fact that when they go out of town, they have our city's name on the front of their chest, because that's what you do in road games. And they represent not only us, they represent the city. And that's something this university should be proud of. Good times and bad, winning and losing, is that we are who we are. And we're going to ride or die with that. And so CSUB is our school, whether you went here or not. I never went here. I've never had a family member go here. But I love this university, and I love what it stands for. So let's hope that we can embrace that, move forward, and have some just fantastic experiences. Winning and losing, you know, we've all won and lost in our lives. But it's more about the relationships. It really is. I believe in loyalty. I believe in relationships. I've worked at one TV station for 39 years. I'm either really loyal or really stupid. I don't know which. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think this university offers a lot in that way, and that it is a hello, how are you? And you know my name and I know you. It's like Norm, okay? That's what we have here. We have that here. Other universities do not, and I think it's a big advantage. And let me say this, because the guys from the 1992-93 team and all the guys who played in the 1990s, they filled this place. Now, they filled this place because they won a lot. I get that. But they filled this place. And to a man, I can guarantee you, they will tell you that was a big part of winning some of the games. And we need to do that again as a community. We need to get some butts in the seats in this very arena when our teams are playing. We need to make this a headache for visiting teams that come here. Be loud and proud. Now you got runner gold. You can be even, well, no. But just be loud and proud and go at it and show up. Show up and show out. Don't let this place be a place where they walk in and go, we got this. No, this should be a place like the Gonzagas of the world. Not the biggest place in the world, but when you go to Gonzaga, you know you're in Gonzaga country. That's what this place should be like. There's no one else around us for 100 miles. We need our industry and our companies and everybody to get on board and be one. I really believe that. I'm great at spending other people's money, but we need that. That's where our success will come if we're all pulling on the same end of the rope. All right, I'm off my soapbox. All right. We'd also like to thank Mary Trishelle and all the community supporters who helped make this event possible. Tonight's event could not happen without the hard work of university events team and athletics department. Both groups have gone above and beyond to make tonight a success, so we thank you as well. Not to mention, they just got the videos and the cameras and the boom, everything. They're doing a great job, a first-class job. So Kyle in the back and his crew as well. And finally, we have many former student athletes who are in attendance tonight, supporting their teammates or coaches and also going, woo! If you were a student athlete at CSUB, please stand so you can be recognized. There you go. I cannot see very well from up here, but there's a few of you that I would like to see in those short shorts. All right, now let's get to the part of the night we're all been looking forward to, and that's the awards. Our first inductee is the man who made CSUB athletics what it is today. Rudy Carvajal's 38-year career at CSUB started in 1972 as the founding director of athletics. He was instrumental in building the athletics department from the ground up, literally and figuratively, transforming it into an NCAA Division II powerhouse. In fact, under Rudy's guidance, the Roadrunners won 30 Division II national championships. Yeah, they were the envy of all of Division II. They really were. And that was across 5 different sports while producing 215 national champions and 1,000 All-Americans. He also guided CSUB to the Division I ranks in 2007, ushering the Runners into a new era of competitive success. Under Rudy's leadership, CSUB Athletics won the Sears Directors Cup in 1998. The following year, he was named the NCAA Division II Athletics Director of the Year. Rudy was inducted into the Bob Elias County Sports Hall of Fame in 2000. He was enshrined by the National Association of Collegiate Athletic Directors of America with an induction into the NACDA Hall of Fame in 2012. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's watch this video of Rudy Carvajal.
One day he said, "Come with me." And we walked out here and he goes, "Okay, can you see it? Can you feel it?" He says, "This is our future. That's going to be a basketball building. That's going to be a soccer. That's going to be a tennis courts for you. And it's going to be beautiful." That's the passion of Rudy. He wanted us to feel. He wanted us to be part of his journey.
Rudy was tenacious, he was well organized, and he started a program with nothing.
Well, when we started, there was actually no facilities, no funding. We were in debt, and so the only way that you could go was up. Things don't just happen. People make things happen. In our society, there are three types: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that can't figure out what's happening. And our goal was really to find a group of people that could make things happen.
You can't build anything from scratch without going out into the community, and I think he was clever. He got together a strong local group. You talk the likes of Jimmy Icardo and Rachel Gomez. He had some farmers and some other people. He showed what his belief was from this, and they were ready to join in.
I think that's a really important element in all of this, is what are the essential ingredients for success? And can we get everyone to buy in and be committed to that? And we were fortunate to be able to find the kind of individuals that knew that everything wasn't perfect to begin with, but we were going to work hard to try to make it the very best we could be.
Rudy was putting this athletic department together, but he must have been a genius about getting some really brilliant coaches that were invested in making Cal State Bakersfield a real strong presence. So I only had to look down the road. 2 doors away was Gloria Friedman, who'd been there with Rudy, kind of getting this whole athletic department off. And the other one, just across the way, as I look opposite there, was Charlie Craig. And then again, opposite me on the other one was Kathy Welter, the softball coach. For an AD, not only to put some great coaches out there that became very, very successful, but not necessarily the same type of person, not the same type of coach. And I think that takes a real skill, because in those days the AD was really the one making those calls, and he obviously did a brilliant job.
And when I looked around and I saw how hardworking our student athletes, coaches, and faculty and staff and everybody were, and it was amazing. When I look back and I think, look, we had to transport people to high schools so they could practice and work out, and YMCA, and all the different folks that came and got behind us to allow us to get it started. And then once we got it started, it became one where, what's the next step? And not being satisfied with where we were, but where we could be. And having that goal and aspiration of we could be something very special.
So I walk into Rudy's office and I said, "Rudy, I know I'm only here 3 months, right? But you want me to start this program, okay? I'll do it. I have no money. I don't know how to do this." He says, "It's okay. Every day I'm going to take you somewhere and you're going to ask people for money, and I'm going to teach you how to do it."
A couple of my assistants said he's very conservative, like Jeremy Gunn's now the head coach at Stanford. And he used to come in the office and shake his head and he goes, "I've got these great ideas for Rudy," and Rudy's, I said, "You got to be careful, you know." I said, I've learned I've had some things, but nearly 99.9% of the time, he is right. Rudy called me in the office and he said, "We're going to start women's soccer." I thought, brilliant. He goes, "Do you want to start the program?" It was me and Jeremy. I said, "Of course I do, yeah." So we need to have women's soccer. So this takes me back, because during this time of year is double days, okay? It's quite warm out there, right? So remember, 8 a.m. we had the women, 10 a.m. we had the men, 2 p.m. we had the women, 4 p.m. we had the men. So he basically is asking me to do 2 programs now. And then I just called Jeremy the other day. I goes, do you realise that we didn't get any more money? And I'm thinking, like, he must have been brilliant at convincing me to do that. Well, I'd say, you know, he gave me my career, my life. So for someone to believe in you that much.
I think it became more of a collective embodiment of things, so that it wasn't just one little thing that stands out in my mind. It was getting everyone on the same page, having them move in the same direction with the approach of not what we couldn't do, but what we could do.
It was his life, Bakersfield, his family and his job here were everything to him.
He came on the weekends and he would stay till Sunday. I mean, he was just that committed to making this work. It was his passion. I mean, this is where he was meant to be.
And Gloria Friedman rocking that runner blue nail polish. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, Rudy Carvajal, to the stage. Rudy.
Well, excuse me. Thank you. My best cheerleaders. I didn't really come prepared to say a lot of things because I wasn't sure what was going to happen tonight. But I do know one thing. CSUB gave me an opportunity to do something very, very special. We got a group of people. We recruited. That became the highlight of everything. Recruiting people, faculty, staff, most important, student athletes that were committed to excellence. And we did things, we looked at things and said, not what we couldn't do, but what we could do. And I was blessed to have a great group of people who I was able to share with some of my thoughts of how we could succeed. And over those years, while I was at the helm, the group that I was in charge of reached way beyond expectations. And we set the stage and the model for those that would come after us. For that, I am very, very appreciative. But I can tell you this, there is no I in we. It was a team effort, and our team was all those people that I mentioned earlier that helped make this possible. For them, I'm deeply gratified and pleased to accept this award on behalf of them, our teams, our individuals, those that gave so much of their lives to make CSUB the success it is and to lead for the future, a future of bold success to come. Thank you very much for this award. I appreciate it.
Where you want to go? That's right. Congratulations, Rudy. You know, I want to add on just because it came to mind when Simon mentioned all the coaches, and you think about the tenures that they had here. Simon himself, 27 years. But I want to add TJ Kerr to that list, the late, great TJ Kerr, who coached wrestling here. No relation. Just wanted to, his name popped in my head when I was hearing those coaches. All right, the next inductee is a former student athlete who made history in the water, both swimming and diving. In spite of spending just 3 years in Bakersfield, Loni Burton is the most decorated female student athlete in the history of CSUB athletics. A sprint freestyler who also was fast in the 100-meter butterfly, Loni was named the NCAA Division II Swimmer of the Year in 2003. Oh, did I mention 2004 and 2005? Her times in 2004 qualified Loni for the United States Olympic trials. Throughout her storied career, as you heard earlier this evening, Loni won 12 individual national titles, an unprecedented number in the Division II ranks, while she became just the second ever swimmer with that many championships won in a career across all of the NCAA. 20 years removed from her time as a roadrunner, Loni remains CSUB's record holder in 3 events, the 50 free, the 100 free, and the 200 free. And she still ranks number 3 in the 100 butterfly. A 20-time All-American. Didn't know you could do that. Loni wrapped up her collegiate career in 2005, and just a year later, she was named NCAA Division II Most Outstanding Swimmer over the previous 25 years. An honor bestowed upon Loni as part of the NCAA's 25th anniversary of Women's Championships. And in 2011, the College Swimming Coaches Association of America listed Loni among the top 100 female collegiate swimmers of the past century. That's a long time. That's an accomplishment. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this video.
You are the most decorated female student athlete in the history of CSUB athletics to date.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes, she won 18 titles. Do you know that she's one of only 2 women in the history of all swimming, Division I or 2 or 3, that have won 12? And she did it in 3 years.
I don't remember when I learned to swim. I always knew how. My father was a 3-time gold medalist in swimming, and my mother was a national champion in swimming. I was around a pool deck since the time I was walking. You know, I decided I was done swimming. I didn't want to do it anymore. Then they called me and I said, you know, I haven't swam in 3 years.
She was like, I'm not going back to that pressure and anxiety. And I said, okay, well, we don't have to. You know, you just want to show up and play is fine.
And so I joined them on their winter trip down in San Diego. I didn't know anybody on the team. They picked me up at the train station and I started swimming.
She just really found her happy place, found her happy family.
The moment I put my face in the water, it was go time. And it was just in my blood. Like, that's where I was and that's who I am, and the water was my home.
Watching her evolve was an adventure and an exciting adventure for everyone on campus and off. At her first national, she came up to me and said, remember, a happy swimmer is a fast swimmer. And I was like, okay. She never was anxious. I never thought she was focused on the block. She was always like, you know, and singing her song.
And I had a whole routine behind the blocks. It was pretty, it was very predictable to the point where at one nationals, I saw someone across the pool doing it with me from another team. I didn't know what team they were on. And it was a whole routine that I had. And somebody else figured out what it was, so.
Her second year at nationals at the University of Buffalo. Loni is not a cold weather person. Nobody has ever won the 2 events she won back-to-back before or since. And she was like I'm going to do it back to back. And it was like, Loni, it's, there's no time. You can't rest. You can't, no, I can do it.
The 200 free, 100 butterfly combination was one that I always felt very proud of because it was a race that was back to back. There wasn't a lot of time in between. And so I had to swim 8 laps of freestyle, and then I'd have about 10 minutes, and then I had to get back up and swim 4 laps of butterfly.
She won the 100 fly, and Marilee Jaguar was second, so they went 1-2, so they were like ecstatic, and then came up to the 200 free and won that event. And then the last event of the night was the 800 free relay, and I had nice person, Loni, and we were, as they say in the business, DFL, dead flipping last, going into the last 200, which was her. And she took off and ripped one. She could have made some of the guys' teams there. I mean, it was just, and we finished 4th, and it was like, okay.
I hope that it's remembered as that I was a hard worker, but I also made sure that I kept myself grounded and that I had fun while I was doing it.
Everybody behind the block is like, so focused, it's hard, and she's like.
The moments in between the races, the moments where I would be sitting with my teammates and we would laugh until we were crying, or the moments to morning practice where one of us would drive a couple of us and we would sing at the top of our lungs at 5 in the morning in the fog, trying to see the stoplights. Just the in between the races. Those moments stick out to me and still stick out to me to this day.
Not everyone needs to know this, but in honor of Loni, I'm actually wearing a Speedo. Okay, hey, the groans were unnecessary. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, Loni Burton. Come on up, Loni, save me.
Okay, sorry, FB. Yeah. Okay, so 12 national titles is a lot easier than this. Okay. I had to write my speech down because, yeah, I did. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. There are a few people I want to thank directly for helping me because there's no way I would have accomplished what I did in my swimming career without them. Thanks, Mom. For never pushing me when I wanted to stop swimming and allowing me to come back to it in my own time when I was ready. Thank you, Ken, my husband, for coming to every single meet and cheering the loudest for me. I love you. And I would especially like to thank Pat, my coach. Without her, I would not be standing here today. She took a chance on me when I'd been out of the water for 3 years, and swimming was the last thing on my mind. She allowed me to go at a pace that was comfortable for me, and we built a relationship that allowed me to fall in love with the sport again. Through this love, I was able to accomplish more than I could and ever thought I would in swimming, all while becoming part of an amazing team. I also could not have done this without my teammates, who became my family. Those of you that have become my chosen family built memories with me that have lasted lifetimes beyond the pool. You will always hold a special place in my heart and mind. CSUB was a place that I was able to find myself again. From the moment I got to the campus, it felt right. I was able to find that spark that was missing and helped me remember who I was. Swimming did not have to define me, but at a place like CSUB, I could find the things that would. I'm incredibly grateful that CSUB was the place that I flourished as a swimmer and as a person.
My journey back to swimming was not always as clear and direct or as easy as it would seem, and I hit a lot of bumps and curves along the way. But I made it back, and in the end, ended up loving the sport more than I think I could ever. As I always told Pat, a happy swimmer is a fast swimmer. And one last thing before I sit down, I want to give a special shout out and love to my incredible children. I love you, Kyle and Kayla. Thank you again for this incredible honor, and go Runners.
Congratulations to another great inductee. Thank you, Loni. The next inductee is a man who created the CSUB track and field program from scratch. Charlie Craig enjoyed a 3-decade-long career that could fill a book with accolades. By his retirement in 2004, Charlie coached 18 NCAA national champions and 195 All-Americans, earning NCAA Division II Coach of the Year in 2002. Charlie's success was recognized beyond domestic competition as his talents and coaching skills paved the way for his work with the United States national team. He served as the USA track and field assistant coach for the 1991 World Championships and the 1996 Olympic Games. Acknowledging his contributions to the sport, Charlie was elected to the United States Track and Field CCCA Hall of Fame in 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this video.
Charlie is a very straightforward, what you see is what you get kind of guy.
Charlie Craig's definitely, if you look up old school, that's the coach he was. He was very demanding. He let you know it. There's no doubt he was one of the originals. He cared not only about his own sport, but he cared about the university. It was just getting started. It was just being built.
He came here and took nothing and turned it into a fantastic track and field program.
I didn't know anything about Bakersfield. I'm out of Fresno, and so we went from Fresno to Los Angeles. We stopped here in Bakersfield for gas. So I knew nothing about the city. I didn't know it was a new program. I thought it was, 8, 9, 10 years old. But when I got here, I found out this just started.
I can't imagine an athlete and a man of his caliber coming out here and seeing this program and going, yeah, I'll take this job.
His quote all the time was, for every problem, there's a solution somewhere.
The track was just dirt, and he would get out here and line it. The blocks were made out of 2x4s. The hurdles he made out of PVC piping. He created this program.
You've had other coaches. Mm-hmm. What made him different?
I think the genuine caring.
Charlie cared, and he was demanding, but at the same time, he loved all of those student athletes, and he did everything he could. Those that knew Charlie knew he had a huge heart, that he was really compassionate.
I always told them, I'm going to treat you as my daughter or son, and I want to, if you're making a mistake, I'm going to call your parents.
When I first came up here, he paid attention to certain things, but he also had a conversation with my dad. And my dad said, I want you to treat her as if she's your own. And Charlie made that promise to him.
A lot of these kids that we had didn't have a father figure. They didn't have any discipline. They came here and boom, Charlie was it.
You're not just a student here, you're not just a social security number, and you're just not here to compete or go to school and get out.
When you were having a day, he pulled you aside. He wanted to know what was going on.
It was a family, and the athletes saw that.
It was genuine. You felt it.
He brought a lot of young individuals into this team and on this campus that maybe didn't have another opportunity, and they could have gone either way in life.
Yeah, Charlie, you could hear Charlie. You knew where Charlie was anytime you were on the track.
When he got frustrated or irritated, it didn't matter with who. If it was with you, the event, the officials, whoever, Charlie would go into this kind of I had injured my quad. We had it wrapped. And I was first leg on the 4x1. And we were up against some pretty tough teams. We had UCLA in there, USC. Gun went off, and I was right up there with them. We were like neck and neck. And my second leg didn't get out. And so I had to jolt when I went to hand the baton, and my quad tore. And I just remember Charlie just running down from the stands and scooping me up, telling me, I got you, you're gonna be okay. And then going into the, which then of course made me laugh, even though I'm in pain. It was just Charlie. That's just who he is. He's gonna take care of you, but he's also gonna tell you about it.
And he taught him discipline, he taught him responsibility, he taught him how to be a man, he taught him how to be a successful person in the community.
He wants to build everybody up. I don't care if you're a track athlete, a basketball player, volleyball player. If he saw you and he knew how good you are, your potential, he's gonna speak up. It didn't matter.
The goal was to forget about the athletic endeavors, produce a student that can leave this institution and be successful in life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame inductee Charlie Craig to the stage. Charlie.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Bright lights knock you out. But I want to thank the athletic department and the university for this outstanding honor. I'm humbled by this. I knew at some point in time that I may become a member of the Hall of Fame, but not the first. And so when I got that call from the athletic director, I was floored. And so, like I told Lance Palm, that how many Hall of Fames have you been in? And I've been fortunate to, I think it's 12, but nothing like this. This is the first one. And I'm so very, very proud of that fact. My success, or the success of the program, is not on me. It's on the tremendous coaching staffs that have worked with me, the outstanding student athletes that have come to our program. And one of the main things I like about Cal State Bakersfield became an institution of the southern San Joaquin Valley. It gave our student athletes a place to come. They didn't have to go 90 miles or 110 miles to Cal State Northridge. They didn't have to go 110 or 15 miles to SLO. They didn't have to go 112 miles to Fresno State. They had a place here. And when I came to Cal State, like I said, I was coming on Stockdale Highway, and I says, holy Toledo, what am I getting into? There was nothing. And like Rudy said, it was sagebrush, ground squirrels, kit fox, and sheep. And but after I left and went back to my hotel room, I said, okay, stupid, think this out. What is this place gonna look like in 10 years? What is it gonna look like in 15? And that convinced me this is where I wanted to be. Many times we think of our student athletes. Let me go back. I had the men, and we brought the women on the program. And I says, hold it, to myself, I can't do both. And so I asked Bob Coons, would you take over the women's part and go recruit? I'll recruit the men, and Bob, you recruit the women. And Bob Coons, we call him Coon Dog, he brought in some of the most outstanding women that this program ever seen. And I'm so very, very pleased to say to Bob, thank you so much. But to the other coaches, we put up some pretty good numbers. And we hope that what we've accomplished or did accomplish will be inspirational to the future athletes at Cal State track and field. I know that's happening now. Coach Wentworth is doing an outstanding job. I want to thank everyone for this honor. It's been a wonderful experience. Like Sarah said, I'm very proud of a couple of things. One, with Jerry Stanner's support, we established the Jerry Stanner's Charlie Craig Track and Field Endowment. Those monies go to the track and field athletes. We don't have any control who receives the money. But I would encourage each and every one of you, if you're not a supporter of an athletic program here, there are a number of ways that you can help. And the success of the program is based upon you. We want Cal State Bakersfield to continue to build on a legacy that was established in 1971-72. Thank you very much for this award. I'm very grateful, and thank you very much.
Congratulations, Charlie. Our next inductee is another Roadrunner alum whose athletic prowess began at CSUB but extended well beyond his days in Bakersfield in blue and gold. Stephen Neal was a two-time NCAA Division I champion and a four-time All-American with the Roadrunner wrestling program. The heavyweight wrapped a bow on his decorated collegiate career by winning his second straight national title and winning the 1999 Dan Hodge Trophy, college wrestling's equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. His 156 career victories and 71 pins still top Bakersfield's all-time records. Following his graduation, Stephen turned his attention to international competition in freestyle wrestling. In the summer of 1999, he won the Pan American Games before adding a world championship title to his resume that fall. Following the 2000 Olympic trials, Stephen retired from wrestling, but his days of competing were far from over. Despite not having played a single down of football since his days as a prep star at San Diego High School, Stephen set his eyes on a return to the gridiron. In 2001, he signed a deal with the New England Patriots as an undrafted free agent and eventually landed on the franchise's 53-man roster in 2002. Stephen worked his way to becoming an everyday Sunday starter on the Patriots offensive line, protecting a guy like Tom Brady. Over the course of his 10-year NFL career, Stephen helped New England to 3 Super Bowl rings in 2001, 2004, 2005, and again, protecting Tom Brady in 86 career games and 81 starts. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this video.
Stephen Neal was a 4-time All-American, 2-time national champ, Pan American Games champ, world team member. His last 2 years undefeated and win 2 national championships and demolish most everybody. Stephen Neal, having played no college football, walks on. He doesn't just walk on and make the NFL. He walks on and makes with the New England Patriots, playing for a coach named Bill Belichick, and gets picked by Coach Belichick to protect Tom Brady. What really stood out in my mind was his freshman year at the national championship. So he came in, he redshirted the first year.
In my unique position of being a junior, a redshirt junior, he's a redshirt freshman. And the 96 season, when we're going into that tournament.
And he qualifies for the national championships.
I just remember watching him go through that tournament. I was going through the same things.
And he wins a few matches, and he gets into the match to wrestle to become an All-American, and the guy forfeits. So Stephen Neal becomes an All-American by forfeit. So then after the forfeit, he wrestles the next round to the guy that had won, and he beats that guy. So now he's in the top 6. He earned his right to be an All-American by winning that match. Now he's in the consolation semifinals against a guy named Tolly Thompson. Tolly Thompson from Nebraska was the defending national champion. And Stephen gave him all that he can handle, and he just barely loses.
When that tournament was over, he placed 4th in the nation. And I placed 4th in the nation. But the difference was, I was a redshirt junior.
But he came that close to beating the defending national champion to take 3rd in the country as a freshman.
It just blew my mind that a redshirt freshman could do that.
But that national championship told me, okay, this kid as a freshman took 4th in the country. It's all about business now and being a 3-time national champ from here on out.
I was a little bit like, who is this guy? You would see Coach Pope, what he did to the wrestlers. He would push you to the limit.
But one of the things I would do, I had the move, was called a Cobra. And it basically just snap your head down, throw you on your back, and it was a position where you could choke a guy out. But I remember the first time that I snapped Stephen down, threw him on his back in a Cobra and choked him out. And then finally he taps, and I let him up. And as soon as I let him up, he was foaming at the mouth, his eyes were glassy, he just had this evil look in his eye, and he just launched right back at me and just started banging away again. So he didn't have the level of technique and skill at that time, but you saw the fight in this kid, and that's when I said, okay, this kid's got it, this kid's gonna be great someday. By his sophomore year, we were going toe-to-toe, and then by his junior and senior year, he could put a whooping on me.
He was taking Coach Pope down, and it was hard to believe at first. You're like, that's a fluke. It would happen more often. To be able to do that to Coach Pope, in my eyes, like he was a wrestling master.
When the team won the Pac-10 championships in 1996, and then we went to the Division I national championships, and we took 3rd in the country behind Iowa, Iowa State, Cal State, Bakersfield. We took 3rd in the country. We had these real big, beautiful rings printed up. So every guy on the team bought one of these rings, and all the coaches bought one of these rings. My ring was stolen. 2 weeks ago, we went to the California chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame to watch Rich Bailey get inducted. And Steve and I drove down there from Bakersfield to Fresno. He said, hey, where's your ring? I said, well, mine, got stolen years ago. Well, when we got back from the event, we got home just before we turned in for the night. Steve takes that ring off his finger and he says, Coach, here, I want you to have this. And it about brought tears to my eyes, because it just the generosity and the appreciation and the humbleness of this guy.
I mean, Steve's a freak athlete. He was really good at his sport. I feel like the legacy he leaves is his character.
And Steve would say the reason he came to Cal State Bakersfield is because of all of his recruiting trips. Cal State Bakersfield was the only program that he went and visited that they were working out that day. And he watched the intensity, and he watched the level of fight going on in that room, and he knew right away, this is what I want. He didn't want the rafting in University of Oregon. He didn't want the partying and the girls and the alcohol at Cal Poly. He wanted the work that was going on in the room from 4 to 6 at Cal State Bakersfield, and he wanted to be a part of that, and that's what sold him, and that's what got him here. But one day, Stephen Neal was in here working out, and it scraped his finger and it started bleeding, and he's just walking by this wall, and he just reaches up with his hand, and on the blood on his finger, and he etches in hard work.
This is Stephen Neal's blood.
That's Stephen Neal's blood, that's Stephen Neal's handwriting, and you can tell because he's such a legend in this sport and in this room and in this school, they painted the walls since. You can see the paint, but they taped that off because nobody wanted to touch this handwriting, hard work from Stephen Neal. What wrestling taught him as an individual of how to work hard, how to believe in yourself, how to set goals, how to achieve goals, how to overcome adversity. What he received here in this wrestling room at Cal State Bakersfield, and what he received in this community, and what he received in this school is what set him up for success.
Well, as you may or may not know, Stephen Neal could not be here tonight, but he wanted to share this video with those of you who are here honoring the 2025 Athletics Hall of Fame inductees.
Good evening, Roadrunners. I'm sorry I'm unable to be there tonight. I have a prior commitment. I want to congratulate all the other fellow recipients on this great honor. Congratulations. I also want to thank the selection committee for thinking of me and putting me here. Very thankful. I got to thank God. Without him, none of this is possible. You don't get to choose who your parents are, and I have amazing parents in Jack and Ilis. I have two brothers, Mike and Dave, also Roadrunners. One swam and one wrestled with me. I want to thank my coaches, TJ Kerr, Daryl Pope, Rich Bailey. These guys, they shaped me, they molded me into who I became, and thank you very much. Also want to thank my teammates. Without you, I'm still that wrestler that took fourth in state. Also want to thank the alumni. Without looking at the media guide and reading about Joe Gonzalez, John Azevedo, I wouldn't have known what things are possible. And huge factor in what I became is seeing their records. Also want to thank the community. This program has been threatened many times, and the community each and every time has stepped up to save it. So thank you guys very, very much. My time as an athlete at Cal State Bakersfield meant a lot to me. I was able to get an education. I was able to kind of be embraced by the community of Bakersfield, and I have a lot of really good memories from that time. It wasn't easy, you know, we had a lot of hard classes, but I learned that if I put my mind to something, I could accomplish it and accomplish anything, and that helped me later on in my life. Everything I attacked, I thought I could achieve because of that time. The biggest lesson that I learned from CSUB that helped me succeed at the highest levels was probably that if you want something, you have to fight for it. It was always a fight at Cal State Bakersfield. We didn't have the biggest budget. We didn't have all the shiny toys, but we fought. And that's kind of what I learned. It doesn't matter if people believe in you. If you believe in yourself and you're willing to fight for it, you can get it. And that's something I learned at Cal State Bakersfield. In the sport of wrestling, your hands are on somebody, and I got cuts here, there. I got a cauliflower ear. They definitely shaped me. But I think the biggest thing is we had such a camaraderie. We went to battle every single day. We fought so hard, and at the end of the day, we're best of friends still. And I just think that being around people like that, they're like-minded, that are willing to work hard, that are willing to put their body on the line, it's a good thing. Being inducted into the CSUB Hall of Fame is a very special thing for me. I worked really hard, and to get the recognition that people see how hard I've worked, and the people that helped me get there, getting them honored as well is very special. Thanks again for this incredible honor. I want to say I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there tonight, but I look forward in the future to coming back and supporting a lot more wrestlers that are going to be in this Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Stephen Neal. You know, we are so fortunate to have all four of these individuals as part of CSUB's legacy, from leadership to student athletes, on and off the mat and pool. Makes you one proud community. Our final inductee of the evening is none other than the undefeated 1992-93 men's basketball team. Led by coaches Pat Douglas, Henry Clark, and Don Verlin. Coach Douglas planned on being here tonight, but he's been battling the flu and is unable to attend. He certainly looks forward to attending future Hall of Fame events, and he sends his congratulations to his team and all of the worthy inductees. This Roadrunner squad sparked a dynasty in Kern County with one of the most impressive seasons in NCAA history. Cal State Bakersfield, led by Coach Douglas, won the 1993 National Division II Championship with an unblemished record of 33-0. In his first game that season, if it was any indication, the writing was on the wall for a championship campaign as they trounced Cal State Stanislaus 100-80 on the road. The first of two games, the Runners eclipsed the century mark on the way to average 81 points per game in 33 consecutive victories. Douglas's squad won the first national championship in the men's basketball program history, and what proved to be the first of 3 national titles for CSUB in the 1990s. The Runners were led by All-Americans Tyrone Davis and Kenny Warren, All-Region honoree Roheen Oates, CC2A Tournament MVP Reggie Phillips, and All-Conference honoree Aaron Vines. They were all top contributors in Cal State Bakersfield's stacked championship roster, many of whom have joined us here tonight. Please enjoy this video.
We accomplished something that no other team did, and people are drawn to a winning program.
And everything fell into place. The community, the campus, the athletes, the coaches.
That to me was when the community and the athletic department became one.
There's something about being perfect.
What set that team apart from all the teams you've coached?
Well, we wanted to run a style play where we had 3 guards out, 2 big men in. Our bigs were as good as we ever had there.
You had guys like Roheen Oates, who was just a beast down in the post. You had Jeff Keel.
Tyrone Davis,
he's coming down. I told him we call him Boogie because he would have people on skates and they're going back and forth.
But Tyrone Davis, he could penetrate and do things with the ball that no one would ever had before.
And then he would just dish it out to
Kenny Warren,
who would just hit threes. And then if he didn't dish it out to Kenny Warren, he'll send it over to Reggie Phillips.
Reggie Phillips was our 6th man, but he could have started.
And then you have this guy that's 5'10" that will just jump through the sky.
Aaron Vines, they all could play their role and play at a high level.
And guys who were just phenomenal in their position.
We led the nation in field goal percentage. We were good defensively, but the way we could penetrate, and these guys could make spectacular dunks, and it was very entertaining. Couldn't have been more fun, because sometimes during a game, I might not say too much the whole game, because I never had that level of talent that could blend together and run 3 out, 2 in. And it was really hard to defend. It was beautiful basketball.
When you are winning, people want to knock off the top dog, and teams brought their A game. And there was a couple times that, it got a little iffy. We had a hometown boy here, Terrence Minoy, who played at Masters, and he almost hit the game-winning shot. And down in Dominguez, we were playing, and it was literally the last second shot, and Tyrone Pollard went coast to coast and laid it in at the buzzer.
Remember that night at Dominguez Hills?
I remember the celebration at the conclusion of the layup, because he laid it up and just kept running to the locker room. So the whole team left. I thought, no one to hug. They all went to the locker room.
Really in mid-season, we knew we had something that was special. The community knew we had something special. The campus knew we had something special. We had the Icardo Center just rocking and rolling in here.
There was so much community, unity, and passion. I sat right there on the front row and watched all this. That's where they all came together, the community, and that's where it made a difference, right there.
But Bakersfield did not have the best reputation throughout the state. I think this team being on TV and the exposure really helped people take a different look at what we had to offer.
I was just proud of the fact that how hard he caught the kids, but they weren't just basketball skills. They were life skills, and that became an important element, an important pathway for our future programs to look at and say, this is what we want to do. We want to be successful, but we want to do it with class.
There are not too many teams in California that would have gone to the Final Four in any level. You have UCLA and you have Cal State Bakersfield. Well, no one else has won 3 national championships except for UCLA in the state of California. So, pretty special company.
We always like to say, we put Cal State Bakersfield on the map. And so, but we did bring some attention to the community and also to the university.
I never realized how much impact that the winning national championship does for your campus, community. I never realized how big it was until the buzzer sounded. And it's the high point of my career. I wish that sometimes people, they publicize it more than what that team did. We played an awful great brand of basketball, and I'm very proud to have been a part of that group and their efforts in that season. They could write a book about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. I understand Justin Hudson is going to speak on behalf of the team, but we'd like to have every player and coach who is in attendance to please come up on the stage to be recognized. We also have a couple extra microphones if you want to chip in. We're going to take group picture first.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc. Let's see you.
Do a group picture first. You can do a group picture first.
Okay, cool.
That's good to see you, man.
Yeah, the big dudes. Yeah, the big dudes, where are they, in the middle? The big dudes are going back.
Get closer, guys.
Back.
Closer.
The big dudes going to back. The tall dudes got to get in the back, man.
I'm going down the rest of the bit.
But the big dudes going to the back, Bro, he ain't getting back.
You guys got to squeeze in, all right? You know each other. Come on. Squeeze in there.
It's the only group up in the front, huh?
I can't see you.
I can't see you.
Before anybody moves, players, introduce yourselves before we get to Justin speaking. Just pass the mic down. Just introduce yourself.
How you doing? I'm Raheem Oates, New York.
I'm Aaron Anderson from Quincy, California.
Aaron Vines, Fairfield, California.
Edmund Jackson from San Diego, California.
Justin Hudson from Bakersfield, California.
Jeff Keel from Rockland, California.
Tyrone Davis, Brooklyn, New York.
Kenny Davis, I have 2 places I'm from, Inglewood, California, and Bakersfield, California.
I'm Alcus McCullough from Pasadena, California.
Coach Don Verlin from Sacramento, California.
Coach Henry Clark from Buckeye, Arizona, originally Cleveland, Ohio. Go Browns.
Grad Assistant Mark Satterfield from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Well, I was fortunate enough to get this responsibility when Kenny couldn't make it, Kenny Warren couldn't make it, and thank you to him. But I want to give our thanks first is thank you for the administration and for Dr. Harper for having this and bringing everybody back. It's huge, it's important, it's good to the community, for the university. Congrats to all the inductees. You know, I was a high school coach when Loni was doing her thing and when Stephen was doing his thing. So we remember the pride not only that you bring to the university, but to the whole city. You know, also remembering Mr. Carvajal, you know, being a knucklehead student walking around and us walking around campus and seeing him and Coach Craig. You know, so this brings back a lot of memories. This is home for me, this is home for us. And I think this team was the first team to get over the hump. You know, if you were a Cal State basketball fan, there was a lot of Final Fours before we came here. And there were some really good players, to the Bo Redstones and the Greg McCalls and the Fred Eccles and the Wade Greens. God bless his soul, and Ray Burris. You know, there was Marvin Redeemer. I mean, growing up here and seeing these guys, they upped the level of basketball and competitiveness in this city. And there was a lot of Final Fours and stuff before this team got over the hump. And it's to this coaching staff, and I've already thanked Mr. Carvajal, but, administrations and communities help win championships, not just players. And we had a wonderful coaching staff. I wish I could have saw Coach D today. And we had some really good players. I mean, some really good players, and they're all standing behind me, but we played a team brand of basketball also, and that's a testament to our coaches. I mean, we were very disciplined. We took good shots. We played good defense. We sacrificed for one another, and just those things make you successful. So Coach D was a tough guy. And Coach Clark and Coach Verlin were great mentors and teachers and recruiters, because they helped bring a lot of the people here, and now they're great friends. And that's what this is about, is this community. And we appreciate that we were able to be here. Thank you for everybody, and go Runners. I got one more thing. I mean, Coach Mr. Kerr, I think I've been watching you, talk sports on TV for a while, and when you said you were loyal or dumb, I said loyal, but my father was over here, he said you were both.
I think your dad's right. Anybody else like to speak?
He said you're the best player ever. He said you're the best player ever. You got to say something.
I do agree that Tyrone had to be the best player ever. When he got here and we're playing in the open gyms, it felt like he was playing against JV. And it took us a year to figure out what we could even do with him in practice. So I think you need to speak, Tyrone.
Yeah. You got to say something.
Just want to say thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. It was a great time, us being here, playing in. Truthfully, I need to say something. We had back-to-back championships, understand? It wasn't just that 1 year. We was back-to-back. So I want to applaud our guys who was there the following year also, okay? Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, good job.
Real quick, I really appreciate you all, Coach Craig, the other nominees, the folks that were awarded tonight. But I do want to say something that Greg said earlier about what it takes to get back to that stature of having amazing basketball or sports in general. It takes the community. I remember when I was playing here, and I never imagined that this place would sell out. I never imagined I'd have to tell my family to get here early or you won't get in. I never imagined it. But it really could get back here again. And I think how it does get back here is the community. It's a lot different now with sports, with NIL. It's very different. But I think we have to reach back into the history and look for the future when we look at what's next for Cal State basketball. So community, thank you so much. It does take a community. You're much appreciated.
My name's Jeff Keel, and I just want to say thank you to the coaches, my friends, who I met for basketball. I got 2 rings because of them. Very fortunate to have met these gentlemen, Mr. Kerr, coaching staff, Bakersfield. Just glad to be here. Thank you.
Coach? Hey, Coach Clark, get up.
Yeah,
come on
Coach
up.
Clark, come on, Coach.
Come on, Coach
Come
Clark.
on, Coach. Come on.
Come on, man.
Words of wisdom.
Thank you very much for this honor. We really do appreciate it. During this week, it's always been questions about, favorite moments, during that year, or what do you remember about the players and the team? And the thing that you remember is that when Coach Douglas, wanted players and talked about what he wanted, the first thing we talked about was character, that we wanted to go out and get players who had character. And at that time, as Rudy mentioned, as Charlie mentioned before, and Gloria mentioned it in her speech, you're in a van. And so when you had to drive from Bakersfield to Riverside in a small van with large players and people, you just wanted to make sure that that individual was someone that you wanted to spend time with in that short space. And that's how you recruited. We would get to the gym, Coach Verlin and myself, would get to the gym early to watch that player come into the gym. Not so much what he was doing on the floor once he gets into the gym. If someone says hi to him, how does he respond back to that person? Does he brush them off, or does he stop, extend his hand, and say hello? So we wanted really good people. We wanted players, as Coach said, that was winners. All these individuals from their high school days and junior college days were winners. And that was really fortunate for us because it carried over into their 2 years or 3 years, or in Edmund Jackson and Aaron Anderson case, their 4 years here at Cal State Bakersfield. There's so many stories that you want to tell about these players, about the time here, but I will refrain from that. But I will say it's great to be here. It's great to see the young ladies that I hadn't seen on Charlie's track team in a long time. Some of the athletes, Keith Powell, Larry King. It's great to see Al Colas talking again about Charlie. It was wonderful to see Gloria up there. It's always a pleasure to see Greg Kerr. Listen to Vance Palm on the radio. I usually watch the games from Arizona, and I text him while they're on the air and say, "You're looking good, you're looking good." So it does take a community to get this type of performance, not only from basketball, but as Simon mentioned, that hallway, it was just a really small hallway. It was Pat, myself, and Don in one office. And if I leaned back in my chair, I would hit Don on his side of the room. But if you came out your door, as Simon said, you go to the left, you had Kathy Walter. If you went 2 doors down, you had Charlie Craig. If you went a couple doors down, you had Gloria. I mean, you had those individuals, and we started with Dave Rubio. But all of this is great and it's wonderful. But before I end, I just really want to say the thanks for the program. As Rudy has said earlier, it's the people that make the program. And Rudy Carvajal has shaped not only myself, but others into the people that we are today. We should give Rudy another major hand. I can't see with the lights in my eyes right now, but I know my wife is going like this. So thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for the honor.
One last time. Everybody together. Let's go Runners, right? Let's go. Everybody in here. Put your hands in here.
Let's go. Try to get out of here.
Greatest team ever. Go Runners on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Runners!
What are you doing? Where are you living in this room?
Aaron Vines said he agreed with me on something, so I guess I'm not as dumb as Mark Hudson says I am. Mark and I are going to have a talk. And by the way, isn't it ironic that Coach Clark coached a 33-0 team, and yet his Browns have had 33 quarterbacks? Oh, come on. Oh, really? Are you Browns fans? Are you really? Okay. All right. Okay. Just checking. And he does text us during a game. He really does. It's awesome. That's what relationships are all about. Henry Clark, I appreciate it. We always do. All right. What a great evening. Can you agree with that? Yeah? So go tell somebody and then have them tell somebody. Let's get some butts in the seats at these athletic events as we talked about. Join us one more time congratulating all of tonight's inductees. On behalf of the Roadrunner Athletics, thank you to each of you, the 2025 CSUB Athletics Hall of Fame inductees, for your time and dedication to CSUB as former student athletes, staff members, and contributors to this university. Your commitment to your craft, your determination for success, and loyalty to this institution and yourself continues to make an impact to the scholars and student athletes that are enrolled in this university today, to our future runners, and to the community surrounding the university. Our hope as Kern County's university is that you continue to come back to CSUB as a proud Roadrunner alumni, seeing with each visit that the blue and gold legacy you left behind is remembered and honored, that our current runners are striving to sprint down the trails that you blazed toward the CSUB Athletics vision of pursuing championships and graduating leaders. Inductees and family members, please gather at the stage for photo groups. Thank you all for attending tonight's event. Safe travels. God bless you. Go Runners.